Right guys and girls, Mark Crossfield here, and today we're going to take a look at the 3 new Cobra drivers, RAD Speed and RAD Draw Speed and all the jazz obviously. Cobra I think have been making some amazing clubs recently. Their drivers have been very popular, they're very reasonably priced. Can they stand up to the big boys in their performance? So we're going to test all 3, collect numbers, we're going to look at the tech, we're also going to do strokes gained and an accuracy game at the end, so stay around for that. Now in the comments down below, let me know, have you ever used a Cobra driver or not? Let me know in the comments which one you enjoyed or not, and also let me know if it's been one that you've tested, even if you've not bought it. Have you tested a Cobra driver and how did it stand up to the other ones? Because the big elephant in the room with this driver, which I think is important to mention, and I'm not one to normally talk about price with golf clubs, because I just think what's expensive to one person isn't to another, and what they want to spend subject to what they get from golf is so much to do with those. But this driver is so much cheaper than the big players, your Titleist, your Callaway and your TaylorMade. Why is that? How can it perform as good if it does? Surely it can't if that price is so different. Again, in the comments, let me know what you think. You know, how big is price influencing your driver purchase? It's going to be a fun test. Let's get stuck in. Looks and feel to begin. We're going to collect numbers with all 3. We're also going to do strokes gained with all 3, plus a little accuracy test with my favourite one at the end as well, so stay tuned. Post in the comments down below, have you ever used a Cobra driver? Come on, let me know down there in those comments, hit them up. So standout feature is definitely the RAD Speed. It's got a matte finish on it, look. The other 2 are very shiny glossy. The RAD Speed, your better player out of the 3 clubs in theory, this is the one that allows you to put the weight forward and back, we will do the tech of all 3 clubs, is my favourite because it's got this matte finish, where the other 2 are very glossy. The other 2, so the draw and the standard one if you like, maybe look a fractionally more stretched back, but not much in it. The RAD Speed, the better player, still looks plenty of club down by the ball. And what I love about the matte finish is you get this kind of matte also, but fractionally more glossy, but certainly contrast between the face with its curves to the matte top. Like, it is stunning looking. All 3 of them have this lipstick kind of around both sides, not at the back. And they all have a hint of the kind of shaping on the top. And the most standout with the shaping on the top here is the speed again. The ridges are more noticeable and you get this little bit of carbon showing through on the top on all 3 of them, certainly a bit more on this one but not much. All 3 have the lineup line, the King Cobra lineup line, which I do like. So we're going to start with the draw, weighted a bit more in the heel. Again, the face is fun on these with the curve, even on this one definitely looks like plenty of club down by the ball. Let's see how it comes off. So this is the draw one, hit that quite nice and straight. Feels good, feels solid. Caught that a little bit bottom heely, but felt decent. Definitely going to appeal to the player who wants plenty of club down by the ball with some decent kind of looking driver. Caught that slightly toey, expecting that one to draw back and it hasn't. Clubhead speed up there, not quite the strike. What I like with the draw is it doesn't really sit closed. It sits very neutral, to be fair. It's the weighting that's obviously giving it its idea of draw bias. Again, look at that one's cutting. Not much draw bias in that one, is there? Right, one more and we'll switch to the standard, see if there's a difference in the feel. Yeah, that one's turning a little bit more, and I did toe it. It's a medium to loud sound. It's certainly not the loudest, because obviously the carbon top, I think, plays through in its sound. It does feel good. So XB next. Again, from this angle, I'm not really seeing any difference to the draw. A little bit more here at the bottom. And this is what I like about these 2 clubs is If anyone's buying these, they don't particularly want the draw, I don't think, to stand out as like the draw-friendly club. They want it to blend with everything else. Sometimes golfers don't want to put their hand up and say, oh, I'm trying to get loads of help with my driver, because when they slice it in the rubbish, they feel a bit embarrassed still, because it's an easy rib take, isn't it, from the mate. So they do look from here, the two clubs, you're not really noticing the difference. And even underneath, it's relatively subtle. This one being the draw look, it's just got the little draw denoter down here. Again, not much difference in the look of those two. So if you want the draw, you're certainly not going to cry out help to your mates with a draw club. They're not going to really notice unless you tell them. And that one feels exactly the same to me as the other one. Like, I would struggle to tell the difference between those two. Which, apart from the weighting, there shouldn't really be a difference. You'd imagine they would feel very much the same. Again, down by the ball, they sit and look very similar as well. You know, I'm not noticing one closed or anything, which I like. It's a good, solid hit. The more I've hit these this morning, warming up and then getting ready for filming, and now hitting them during filming, like, they feel like ping stable. Anyone who watches my videos, the pings often come out good in stroke sense because they're just so stable. And they do feel really, really solid, all three of them, like ping solid. And anyone who understands the industry, that's like a mega compliment. Oh, I caught that slightly off the top, but look at it, it's staying pretty straight. Yeah, it's a off the top low spinning drive, but didn't deviate much. I'm going to carry on collecting numbers with all three. I'm going to go 3 times round, which I won't show you every 3 times round. You'll get bored of me just smashing it into the net. And come back and I'll talk to you about what the players one feels and sounds like as well when you guys are going to look at the tech. So if we take a look at the Cobra tech, all 3 drivers here feature the CNC milled face. Now this face apparently takes up to 25 minutes to mill. It gets the fact that they're milling it, they're shaping it in a way for aerodynamics, they're changing the roll and bolt, similar to the ideas of twist face in some ways, and also they can keep it very precision based across the face to keep sure or make sure your ball speeds are there across all 3 drivers. So the RAD XD, the draw model, we get the draw bias weighting in this one, fixed weight at the back. We're getting a carbon crown, they're saving weight, and we're also getting the changeable neck on this one. The RAD XB, we get the fixed weight now at the back. Obviously we get the same face that we talked about, carbon crown as well, also changeable neck. The RAD Speed, we get the forward weight and the backward weight. So I've got a 2 gram weight at the back and a 12 gram weight at the front, and you can flip them around to change the numbers. All 3 of them feature aerodynamic shapes on the top. All 3 heads are 460cc in design, but they look a little bit different with the way they're stretched down by the ball, their profile as they sit down by the ball. And with all 3 clubs, we're talking about radial weighting, so they're trying to push the weight back and out to try and get the most MOI they can out of all 3 heads. That's where, out of all 3 heads, that's where the RAD comes from. Let's go and check out the numbers and see if the radial weighting on these 3 drivers is absolutely transforming my numbers. So plenty going on with the tech there. Let's end up with the speed, and it's a standout looker. I wouldn't say only in this range, I would say in the whole range of golf clubs that you could compare this to. Just looks delicious. Oh, I caught that slightly out the bottom, so I'm going to reserve, like, it sounded duller then. You know, like your better players, not as tingy, but I'm going to hit another one because that was a bit out of the bottom. Because obviously the acoustics do change as you hit in different places. Yeah, not much in that. I'd say similar. It's the look that's so different, and in a good, positive way. It looks just superb. Yeah, it's a fraction different sound. Nothing from my ear in these shots. They're all blending, very much blending. And I don't mind that. I think that's a good thing. Lots of people would want them to. If anything, this is a fraction duller, if anything. Right, let's hit one more, and then we're going to look at the numbers and see which one I choose for my long straight driving contest. Which one can I get the fairway with the most and send it? It is solid and very, very stable. Let's look at these numbers. So let's start with the group of strikes. You can see I'm getting it all in a very similar position. My normal tone, not quite as high as I normally get, which is something I'm working on. Efficiency, very, very close between the three drivers. The speed, just sneaking it. Head speed, very similar with all three. Less than a mile an hour between all three. With the driver, the draw, sorry, just sneaking it, but barely. Dynamic loft, very similar with all three. And you can see my face angle, very similar with all three, and path, very similar. So my delivery is as consistent as I can make it. Obviously human testing, but I mean, and a little point on that, people talk about hitting robots and stuff like that. Human testing is as important as the robot testing. And for lots of the club builders, you'll be amazed how much they rely more on human testing, because you can model what these clubs do. If you want to know what these clubs do just scientifically, that's not really debatable about anyone who knows. No one's really cheating. They're just saying maybe bigger things than actually do happen. It's how a human reacts to it, which is why it's always important you go and test these drivers yourself to see how you react to the sounds and the looks and the different weight in those kind of things. So if we look at the average ball speeds between all three, 159, 159, 158.9, let's call them very similar if not the same. Launching all in a very similar window. The spin is changing, so the lowest spin where you would imagine. The RAD speed is the lowest spinning at 2.2 average compared to 2.4 to 2.5. Remember this one, I have the heavy weight at the front. My testing has shown if you flip the weight around, you are moving between 200 to 400 revs. So if you wanted to knock the revs of this up to match the other two, so in turn I guess MOIs would get very similar as well. You'd flip those weights around and then you've got the driver that you might like the look of the best, and it's really blending into those ones. I need that ball speed averaging at 160, come on. And then because of the lower spin, what we do see is a 276, a 275, and then a 283 average from the RAD speed, because it is able to deliver me the lower spin and I have the speed to maintain those kind of numbers. Not enough speed, but enough speed to maintain those numbers. So it's a no-brainer for me. Out of those three, it would be the speed all day long. You can see the dispersion between the three here, the three rings. The blue is the shortest, maybe, or the biggest dispersed from short to long, just. Left to right is the red, which is the standard one. And the yellow, the tighter dispersion for me as well, just maybe verging a little bit more on the right, so something I would aim for. Three very good drivers. And for me, what I would want, no surprises, just three drivers doing exactly what those three drivers are meant to kind of do. Does the draw one offer me more draw? Well, it gives me more range to the left on this occasion, but draw drivers, you know, I'm going to override that within reason if you give me enough shots. Unfortunately, you can't beat a draw or a fade or a slice. You have to do that yourself. This is just a tool that might assist you on a few occasions. So I'm going to go with the RAD speed for my accuracy test. So we've got the 18th Pebble Beach just loaded in the background. I'm going to go with the RAD speed, which is definitely my favourite in looks. It feels as good as the others, and I've got the weight obviously still set forward because I want to pull on that lower spin. I love this hole for a test because you can see we've got a one-way def miss. But it's a par 5 which is trying to reach in 2, so we are still trying to send it as far up there as possible to give me a chance with my second shot. I'm going to have 5 drives. How many hit the fairway or not? In the comments down below, let me know what you think. How many hit the fairway or not? Second question, how many reach the 160 ball speed that I want to get as my average in that comment section? How many hit fairway? How many hit the 160 ball speed? Come on, have faith. So I am going to go for it. I'm not just going to try to hit the fairway. I mean, obviously I am going to try and hit the fairway, but I'm going to try and bomb it as well. 5 drives. Oh, that's an arrow. That is an absolute arrow. That should be a 160 ball speed. That's almost a line ball. Oh, 159 ball. 278 carry, 302 total. That was a line ball. All right, just need another mile an hour of club head speed. It was 111, 112, 113. If I can hit those with a strike is where my 160s come from. Ball speed. that's another line. It has to be said, these do feel, and that might end on the line with the slope of the fairway. Go on, get left. Ping state, 161. Yes, please. 161 ball, 2 fairways hit. Did you put no fairways or 1? You? I'm just about to toe hook one in the water after saying this, but here we go, I'm gonna say it. It does feel ping stable. Like, this feels as stable as any driver I've hit. It's got ping essence in its matte finish and looks, and it honestly, it just feels so stable down at impact. Definitely not as drawy as I'd imagine. That didn't feel like it was fading, and it has faded. Get over the bunker. Oh, I've carried the bunker. 160 ball speed, 2 out of 3 fairways. What's interesting with that one though, which I always love with the whole speed debate, you can see I'm going for it. Like, when I get out on the course, I'm a little worried where the ball might go. But that ball is in play. That has, apart from how I'm lying in the rough, that has as much chance as a birdie as the other 2. Maybe a fraction less, but it's up there and giving me enough chances to have a go at getting close to that green. I'm someone who's definitely overvalued fairway in my life growing up. So a little fadey, wasn't expecting that. That felt quite a neutral delivery, so maybe not the most draw club. You can see how close the numbers were. If you wanted to make sure you are promoting this kind of shape, you might try the other 2 out of the 3. Right, I'm going to give this a wallop. I want to get to 113 club. That's a 111. Nothing in the water, is it? No. But it is a low spinner. Oh, it might do. Stay up. Stay up. Oh, yes. Tiger line. 160 ball. Now, that was a 1-2 spin. Really low spin. And I don't know if that is a misread from my machine or actually is that low. It didn't feel that high on the face to be that low. So if I was doing a proper test, not that this isn't a proper test, I would want that repeating to trust that number. I'm not sure that was a 1-2. You could see the flight was dippy, but didn't feel that way. It's still a 160 ball as well, which from that strike surprises me. Right, that was only a 111 club, so one more. This might end up not on the fairway. I am literally going to smash this. A bit more reach, a bit more hip and torque value on the floor. Let's see if I can get a 112 club. Yeah, there's the cutlet. 113 club, so I raised the club, but I'm now on the path. Oh, in play still though. 162, ball, come on! 3 fairways out of 5, all in play. Happy with that, considering that's me going at like my flat out at the moment. 174 average. You can see totaling my furthest carry is 280, so it's a 290 rollout prediction with 2 of them in the 300s. Spinning at 2-1 with that 1-1 in there. I'm just going to disable that one to give me, so 2-3 without the 1-1, which I don't know if it's real or not. Ball speed averaging 160. Could I game them? Yes, I would choose this one. That's as good as anything out there at the moment in performance. That's just good. I mean, it's just, and it is solid. It is, like I say, ping solid. It feels very, very stable through impact. And then let's just remember the price that we talked about on these. The price is ridiculously low for the modern day driver. I literally don't understand why you would spend more than this amount, because you've got a lot of good drivers at this price point, from Cobra to Mizuno, Cleveland, and obviously Ping. Like the big boys up there, I wonder how they're getting away with it, apart from tricking you all with powerful marketing, because that is as good as anything, all 3 of them. So when we look at the strokes gained, it's interesting because it shows more about me and the clubs mixed together, which is the beauty of custom fitting, I always think. So the RAD XB total shots gains the most, 0.37 total. That's on a Tour Pro we're trying to gain on here. So anything gaining on a Tour Pro, I'm happy with. The RAD Speed, my favourite driver, is the second best, losing half a shot, 0.57. And the RAD Draw is the worst, losing 1.42. So definitely that test there, I should be choosing one in the top 2. In inferior, I should be choosing the RAD XB. But why did I choose the RAD Speed? Well, what I'm looking at rightly or wrongly, maybe post comments down below how you would look at it. The bottom set of numbers is with the recoveries removed. So when you remove the recovery shots, per shot, the RAD speed is gaining the most, 0.22 per shot, if you remove recoveries. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at my potential, and then the ones where recoveries are being brought into play, which is lowering them, I'm thinking, well, that's me. I'm going to take the one that gains the most per shot on this instance and try and make sure I don't hit one of those recovery shots, because that's not the club, that's much more to do with me. But again, I think the important message here is what you're looking for in a driver. I know I can hit drivers straight, so I'm not particularly looking for one to go straighter than the other. That's going to be on me. I'm going to be trying to get the best numbers that when I am playing well and hitting it straight, I get the most distance, which on this instance you would see per shot is the RAD speed. Now for you, when you go custom fitting, depending on how you look at your numbers, you might get seduced by the one that goes the furthest, but if you get that one going into the most recovery areas, then maybe that isn't the one. It's not suiting the matchups of your swing, or you're going to change your swing, or you feel like you could hit it better over time. So you will go for the longest and accept those recoveries in that data set. Do you see what I mean? This is where custom fitting is not black and white. There has to be opinion, there has to be feelings, there has to be thoughts. Otherwise, like I've said in many other videos, you would have to test for over a year, or at least a year, to get enough data shots to have a pattern. You would see the pattern is so small, you'd have wasted a whole year in shots, and they'd just release another driver. Interesting. RAD XB did very well all shots, but certainly the RAD speed giving me the most potential. 3 of them. Very good. Post comments down below if you use the Cobra driver or not. Let me know in the comments. As always, hit the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed the review and you want to see more of them. Let me know. Hit that thumbs up button down there. Helps the channel, and it lets me know what you like more of and not as well. Thanks for watching as always. Speak to you soon.